guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex.
Okay, welcome back everyone to Anonymous Bites Back. A little later than usual. I'm not sure how long we will be on. Yeah, I know it's my fault. We will talk about
just a little later.
Donzinger, the Donzinger trial, the Pope in Iraq, and about Manchester United. So, if you're listening to this, please help to share it around, and remember that we have a chat on YouTube and you can ask questions.
We also are live on the Rockfin on the Slow News Day channel, and we will also accept questions over there.
Hey, Joshua Benton in the Rockfin chat? Who's that?
Florida time. No, it wasn't Florida time. Sleepy. It was like if Island Time met Mountain Time and had a contest to see who could roll the biggest, fattest joint and show up the latest. What really happened is Luber's got some new pomade in the mail this morning, and he had to see how it compared with his normal hair product. So he was standing in front of the mirror getting ready to do the show, right? Because he won't do the show without good hair. And it took like almost 3 hours.
Even though we can't see his face.
Yeah.
Spot on.
Incredibly vain son of a bitch. Really, it's starting to affect the production value of the show overall.
Shut up, Steve.
All right, so in more important news, it's not Mark's hair. Steven Donzinger, who has been fighting Chevron for the past, I think it's been a decade now, I'm pretty sure. He has won his New York Federal Appeals court case, and this is a major move against Chevron and the controversial U.S. trial judge Lewis A. Kaplan, I mean, he just he went above and beyond to try to destroy Steven Donzinger's life for Chevron by taking away his law license, trying to get him to turn over his computer to Chevron, which is it's against the law. It's confidential for him and his lawyer only. And this judge, has basically tried to destroy this guy's life. And he also issued him a 19-month house arrest without trial. And, he has now won his appeal. It's a big move. And it's historic that he has been able to stand up against both Chevron and a U.S. trial judge. As a quote, the New York civil rights attorney Martin Garbus, who represents Donzinger, said, "This is an extraordinary legal victory that should lead to the enforcement of the environmental judgment against Chevron and the dismissal of the criminal contempt case against Stephen Donzinger. This is also a victory for indigenous, oh my god, I can't speak, indigenous people throughout the world and against all oil industry polluters. Indigenous, by the way. I know what I said. I fucked it up. But you get the point. He's been fighting against Chevron for years for the Ecuadorian people because Chevron had spilled oil in Ecuador, and they tried to front the cost and say basically that they didn't have to pay for the environmental damages and also the damages to people's health from the oil spill. And I mean, they caused a lot of people cancer and, you know, all those fun diseases. So yeah, it's a big win.
It is. When you brought this up earlier, I found a New York Post article about this from last week, 2 weeks ago. Nearly 300 students from 52 law schools around the country are boycotting working for a law firm they claim has a conflict of interest handling the case of environmental lawyer Stephen Donzinger. Lawyers of the firm Seward and Kissel were appointed by the government as special prosecutors in Donzinger's criminal contempt case, accusing him of refusing a request to hand over his cell phone and computer. So he did win. The lawsuit happened, but there's a criminal contempt case against Donzinger as well. In a letter the students sent to Seward on Wednesday, they claimed the firm has a conflict in prosecuting the criminal case for Donzinger, who helped secure an $8.6 billion judgment against Chevron in Ecuador, as Seward has represented Chevron in numerous other matters. We, the undersigned law students, refuse to consider employment with the firm until it withdraws it from its conflicted position as Chevron's private prosecutor. Read the letter from the group of students. The unethical behavior of Seward and Kissel's Chevron-linked prosecutors opens the door to future cases in which judges give private law firms the authority to prosecute the critics of multinational corporations without disclosing their ties to those same industries. And then it's background about the case that we just went over. So, wow. That's new information for me.
Yeah.
Wow, I just I found something else to talk about. Wow, I'm speechless on what I just read. That is fucked.
Well, tell us.
Well, I don't want to take away from what Steve just said, because I mean it would be rude to do that. But I was just here looking up news, and I found this, and I'm like, holy fuck! There's no way this is legitimate. And I looked into it, and I was like, holy shit, this is legit. So apparently the stimulus check, right? So they want to give $1,400 to regular Americans, and then they want to give $1,400 a week to federal employees for 15 weeks.
Bitch.
Isn't that nuts?
Don't give a fuck about you.
As if bombing Syria with what could have been stimulus money wasn't insulting enough to the general public. Now they're saying, oh, well, you know what? Instead of giving more money to them, we can just double the pay for the employee screwing them over.
Now, what I'm trying to figure out, is this the one that passed?
I don't fucking know. I honestly haven't been paying attention to that shit. I just know whatever's gonna come out of the flaming anus that is Congress is gonna screw us.
Wow. Wow. I am speechless. Like, I am fucking... Oh my god, what? You want to know something really funny? They tried to push this under Trump, and he declined it. So, say what you want about Trump, he did decline this.
Democrats pushing Biden to the left.
Oh my god, that's insane. That is fucking nuts that they want to push $1,400 for regular Americans and then $1,400 a week for federal employees. That's insane. For 15 weeks. What the hell? That's fucking $21,000. What?
Well, to be fair, no one has had it harder in general, AK, than the bureaucrats. Their suffering is something that we've all been touched by and felt, and it's only right that they should be compensated at a 15-to-1 rate that we are, because we will never know how hard it is to sit in an office day in and day out, year after year after year, doing abso-fucking-lutely nothing.
We will never know the pain that they go through, the abuse and the violence, and people calling them sellouts. And it's Steve, the trauma from the Capitol Hill insurrection.
They probably got carpal tunnel and shit too.
I can't be bothered with these fucks.
Yo, that is insane, because that's like... Man, I would love to know if they're including themselves under that categorization of federal employees. Because technically, they would be federal employees of the government. So, I would love to know if they're actually including themselves under that. $1,400 a week. Oh my god. If that's that is fucked up. That is fucked.
Yeah, it's kind of disgusting, isn't it? They're just showing like who is more important to them. These idiots.
Yeah, after everybody's been suffering, and the people who are probably suffering the most are not federal government employees. That's all I got to say.
They just throw it in your face. They don't, like Steve says, they don't care at all anymore what they're doing. They don't even hide it anymore. At this point.
Yeah. Very true. But you know what? Fucking all last year, all that money they gave me, so all going towards paying taxes. That's it. So you get no money from me. You get your own money back. Oh fuck, man. This is just fucking ridiculous, honestly. On another topic, I found out that every time I make a crypto trade, that I get taxed 40%. 40 fucking percent for my crypto trades for gains. So if I had $500 in there, they don't tax you for the 500. They tax you for anything over your initial investment. So let's say that 500 made me 7,500, right? That I would get taxed from 600 to 7,500, and I would be taxed 40% of that. That's almost 50%. What the fuck? It's like highway robbery, dude. Like, what the fuck?
It really is.
Well, I told you, AK, you need a good tax lawyer for that. Relocate.
I have a good tax lawyer, but it's ridiculous. That's the tax rate in the U.S. It's just insane.
That'll change real quick after all the people that just invested, 40 million here, 2 billion there, this, that, and the other into the crypto market have to pay taxes on it. If they have to pay taxes on it. I mean, I don't know if you have to pay taxes on it if you're already throwing 40 million at something. It doesn't seem like you paid taxes on that 40 million.
You would pay on the gains when you cash out, or if you swap. So, like basically, if you swap from one crypto to another crypto, that's a taxable event. And I was like, I said to my tax guy, I'm like, what if I swapped from one crypto to another crypto and then back to the other crypto, And he said, those are all taxable events. And I'm like, the fuck? I'm like, how the fuck am I going to pay for that? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, like I said, so basically, for that example I gave, like $500, right? I would be taxed 7,000 of that. So 7,000, times 40%. That's a pretty big chunk of that, man. That's $2,800. Almost $3,000 that I would have to give them in gains. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's how they want to tie crypto into the fiat system. So they keep it.
What, through taxes? Yeah, I definitely agree with you.
Yeah. It's forcing it into like they don't want like a separate system. They want to keep it tied in to the fiat system, and taxes are a good way to do that. It's actually not fair because cryptos are considered a property and not a currency. So yeah. That means only when you buy or sell it, there can be taxes, not when you own it. It's about property.
But if you swap from they argue that if you swap from one stock to another stock, it's the same thing as swapping from one crypto to another crypto, because you're swapping one property for another property is the way that they argue it. It's just fucking ridiculous. It's just bullshit. That's what it is. But anyway, yeah, this fucking stimulus thing. Wow, man, that is like straight in your face, kick in your gut, kick your face, slam you on the curb stomp you, fucking. I don't know what else do I have to add here, Steve? Like, you're good.
Light you
punch.
on fire.
Yeah.
Fire.
Let's see. Yeah, did we go with balls in a vice?
No, we haven't said that yet. No.
Okay. Let's see.
Throw a brick at you.
Right, like discovering your grandparents having sex and then having to lose close to $21,000 over it.
Well, I mean that's ironic because you're getting 21,000 if you're a federal employee.
Right. But if you're not, you're missing out on $21,000. So, basically having to pay to watch people, to be screwed by people, facilitating your own fucking, uncomfortable fucking.
Begging. With no lube.
Right. Sandpaper condom.
What was the other stimulus check they gave? They gave $1,000 and $600, right?
Wasn't it 900?
I thought it was 1,200 and 600.
I thought it was like
1,200.
I don't know. Students didn't get fucking shit, so I don't fucking know because we didn't get shit. And it's not even on some type of shit where like we were supposed to get the $1,200 checks and like because of bureaucratic nonsense we did it. Like no, students just flat the fuck out weren't even written into the first stimulus check, the first stimulus bill. But colleges were given stimulus money.
Okay, so I just looked it up. The first stimulus check was $1,200. The second one was $600.
Okay.
Ha! $1,800, guys. It's our government for ya.
Yeah. Insane. $1,800 is what they fucking paid people. It's like hush money, man.
It is. It is hush money. I bet it's a fantastic way of putting it. And really, it's just barely enough to string people along for a few weeks while they mostly reopen the country. And then they can go, okay, well, everyone can go back to work, and all of those moratoriums are due. You have 30 days. Good luck. Oh, hey, but we've got really good rates on short-term loans.
Oh, yeah. Yay. Short-term loans. Yay.
I mean, I hope I'm wrong about that, but I could see it happen. I can see it happening.
Yeah, it's just fucking ridiculous, honestly.
What is this dead air about? We also have to talk about the Pope in Iraq and about what's that other thing?
Yeah,
Oh yeah. All right. I got you. Since it's in the title, then let me just address something. Manchester is and will always be red. Okay. Manchester Derby was today. Man United played Man City this morning. Or at least this morning in West Coast time, and right out the gate, my man Bruno Fernandes nets in an easy penalty, just so flawless. And then right out the gate of halftime, Luke Shaw, brilliant golazo from Luke Shaw. We win 0-2. Solid game from Anthony Martial. And yeah, we're coming for that title. We've had a rough past couple years, but we're seeing our due now, and we're coming for that league. And Manchester is red. It's Anonymous Bites Back sports segment with Glory Jones.
I didn't even know that was sports. I thought it was something else. I thought it was a protest, honestly.
Oh yeah, there's a really good point in in the Rockfin chat, someone saying this is the first time I've ever owed taxes because of the stimulus return deduction of the $1,200
Wait,
from last year's check. No, you didn't know this. I reported on this on Slow News Day, and I got shit for it. But then showed the actual text of the bill. Your coronavirus stimulus from last year in March or whatever, the $1,200 check, the one in March that showed up in June or something.
Right.
That check was a front on this year's tax return. So if you had like, if you you had to deduct it. You had to deduct it from your taxes. It loaned you your own money, and you have to pay it back.
What? Fuck that, dude. I'll use every deduction I have to pay that shit back. You hear that, IRS? I know you got somebody out there listening. Fuck that, man. No way. You gave me money?
Yeah.
Hell,
Yeah.
fuck no.
No, they loaned you your own money, is what they did. They fronted you your own cash. And told you that they were bailing you out while signing the largest upward transfer of wealth in recorded human history in the CARES Act.
That's so nice of them. But, no fucking way. Nope.
So that's how Trump did you. Trump fronted you your own money. And then Biden turned around and was like, I'm not going to do what I said I was going to do. And instead, I'm going to pay you once less. I'm going to pay federal employees 15 times that.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to open back up the economy, and then all of your moratoriums come due.
What was that last bit about what?
So the moratoriums on rent and mortgage and bills and whatnot, the government and individual state governments have been putting out over the last year because of this. Those are all going to get called in. Moratorium's going to get lifted, and all of that money is going to be due. Because again, Joe Biden doesn't give a fuck about you. He has never had to at any point in his career. He never will.
Oh, yeah.
Dude's
that's
out there
obvious.
straight the fuck up making fan cams of himself. You saw that, right?
No.
Go find it. I'll put it in the.
Bro, Biden's been doing so much fucking photo shoots and fucking like photo ops every fucking day. It's like every day you see a picture of him walking through the White House with the mask on and some random and like some three-piece suit, like another day in the books. And it's like just nothing. Pure nothing.
Oh, it's not gonna show it. You gotta click on the actual thing. Okay. At any rate. Yeah.
What? Fan cams of himself.
Yeah, no, that's what they are.
It's true though.
I know. I see it. I see the quote.
Did you click on it?
Yeah.
Yeah. The reason why it's because your tweet, the one you sent, is actually gone.
Oh yeah, but the one I was talking, bro. What the fuck is that supposed to do? Like, what the hell am I supposed to gain from looking at a picture of old ass fucking Joe Biden wearing a mask, taking like 2 steps in a 3-piece suit, and going, another week in the books? What the fuck am I supposed to gain from that shit? Like, what did you do, bitch?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how to respond to that, to be honest.
And then there's the poor schmuck right behind him who got his tie caught in his man purse. Now he just doesn't. Now he just looks like he doesn't know how to put on a backpack. With his, like, giant surgical mask. Joe Biden looking at the camera like he wants to, like, acquaintance rape it.
Ugh.
I don't have a very high opinion of Joe Biden.
No, really, Steve? You don't like old man Joe? Good old
Lori,
Uncle Joe?
That's an awful lot of sass.
Really? Really now,
I hope
Steve?
I appreciate your tone that's borderline violence. I'm gonna call AOC.
Go ahead. You know what? Put me on the line with AOC. Put me on the line with her. Go ahead, Steve. I've been waiting for this day. Shit, what you mean, dog?
Didn't I give you Nina Turner's phone number?
No, but
You want it?
I already have it.
Okay.
You can't say that. We can't. We'll get banned.
I don't have it, YouTube. I'm just playing, okay? I'm playing. I don't got the sauce like that, okay? I don't. I know one man in journalism, and that's the CEO of Scoop Gang.
I have journalistic and political connections all over the planet.
All over the planet, you say?
It's true. It's true.
But for the purposes of YouTube, we don't know anyone.
Oh, okay. In that case, I mean, it is entirely plausible that I would ordinarily, in the course of my day, have that phone number.
Official sources confirm this.
That have been through the show. Number of people that. Never mind. At any rate, nobody's prank calling anyone. No. Promise. Wouldn't do that anyway. Not a show.
It would make good shit on YouTube.
Huh?
Nothing.
Okay. We should totally try to get Nina Turner on ABB though. Be hilarious.
Oh.
Oh, that would never work.
Bro, I don't.
Glory and I keep trying to convince friends of ours to like get somebody on their show and then give them the link to the Jitsi call, but it's the Slow News Day server.
Yeah.
And it's
so like
Glory.
So like
and
they
already
think
live.
I know. They think they're gonna interview like someone who, like someone who's like got more followers than us, higher up in like the celebrity list, and probably more polite and maybe more respectable. And they think they're gonna get that, and then boom, get into the Jitsi call, and it's me and Steve. Like, hey yo, what's good? We finna ask you some questions, dog. Don't Roger Stone us now.
I have many questions. Please stick around.
Yeah, man, don't leave. We just got some questions. Like, I don't know why you hopped in the Jitsi call. Like, me and Steve were just having a random meeting, and you just popped in. So, like, hey, while you're here.
We just happened to be live streaming our random meeting.
I mean, shit. We have half our production meetings on air, anyways.
It's true. People come to the show for their personal therapy, so I feel like every now and then it's okay if me and Glory work our fucking business shit out, like in the middle of a show.
I mean, I don't think that's that would be a good time for that, but what do I know?
It cultivates a real. Huh?
I said, what other topics do we have here?
Manchester
I mean,
United.
we legit do have the Filipino exorcist thing, which is just funny.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, I could get into that one. So this priest in the Philippines, he said that he believes that people are being possessed by demons that are from horror movies, and says, "quote I quote, do not say these names out loud." And this is after by the way, they put this after the fact that they say that he wrote all these, and you're reading them and everything, So I found it pretty funny. That's all I got to say.
I do. I just love the way that the article is written to where they do that. You guys, what? It's the Manila Times or something.
Manila Bulletin.
The Manila Bulletin. The Manila Bulletin is trying to get you possessed by demons named after characters in recent movies and TV shows, according to the priest.
Okay, well, these areas are in so much poverty and problems still that they're very superstitious, and their leaders always blame outside things like demons and stuff. That's what they do. And it's very sad.
But yes, it's true. That is true. But the big thing here is that they literally believe that, like, this guy, or at least this one guy, this priest, literally believes that these people have been possessed by demons inside of movies, and he says that he has exorcised a woman, and she had over 39 demons inside of her.
Nice.
So, he actually believes it. The other story that we had is the Pope went to Iraq and
just to Iraq, by the way, to all kind of countries. I typed in Pope in on Twitter, and I saw like Pope in Iraq, Pope in all these other countries, like all these countries in the list.
That's just the meme culture, just trolling and saying that the Pope has been everywhere.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Pope
The
and
Pope is Legion. Expect him.
Oh, you should never say that, by the way. You should never say that to the Pope, because it's actually a chapter from the Bible, the Legion part.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that the part about Legion is a chapter from the Bible. It's from Mark 5:9. And that is where
Yeah.
Oh.
Jesus asked this possessed guy, "Who are you?" And then this possessed guy says, "We are Legion, because we are many."
Your Legion.
Yeah.
That's why remember years ago when that guy, that crazy guy, was like trolling us on Twitter, and he was saying, "You guys are the devil." And I was like, "No, we are Legion."
Yeah, well, it's fair of him to say
yeah.
that, but he doesn't
Mark
mean.
5,
Go ahead.
Mark 5:9 from the New International Version Bible. Then Jesus asked him, "What is your name?" "My name is Legion," he replied, "for we are many."
Exactly. So they call us the devil. But
Mark 5:9.
yeah,
That's funny.
Is that what you were named after, Mark?
maybe. But
Maybe.
the thing is, no, but they think this is a Christian concept, but actually it just makes sense, right? Because there's like millions of people all having the same name, anonymous. They're all the same person. That's pretty much it. So if you have 9,000 demons in one guy, oh, what is it? A legion is 5,000, I think, under the Romans, 5,000 people. But if you have that many in one person, yeah, they all have the same name. That's the concept of anonymous. Word, I mean, it's not just Mark 5:9. It's also in Luke, and it's in one more, Matthew. It's also about Legion. I think he actually makes them run off a cliff. He puts all the demons in pigs and makes the pigs run off a cliff in the Bible. Just saying.
Jeez.
So I just dropped this into the Discord chat, but this is out of the Nikkei Asia website from 2 days ago. And basically every time AK's on, we end up talking about the escalation in militarism between U.S. and China, and mostly
Good save.
on the part of the U.S. Huh?
No, I was just saying good save because it's been dead air, so that's a good save. Yeah, I haven't been really paying attention these past 2 weeks now. I haven't been paying attention too much to what's going on over there. So the article you just
well, yeah, I was gonna say while that like 2 weeks passed, the U.S. will bolster its conventional deterrence against China, establishing a network of precision strike missiles along the so-called First Island chain as part of a $27.4 billion in spending to be considered for the Indo-Pacific theater over the next 6 years. They form the core proposals of the Pacific Deterrence Initiative. The greatest danger to the future of the United States continues to be an erosion of conventional deterrence, the document said. Conventional deterrence. Missiles. And the deterrence being in the part of the title of the missile, first strike. So the deterrence is striking first. Which sounds a lot like an attack to me. But what do I know?
Are you saying that the missile is literally named First Strike?
Yeah.
Oh my god. We're just living in clown world.
Specifically, it called for the fielding of an integrated joint force with precision strike networks west of the international date line along the First Island chain, integrated air missile defense in the Second Island chain, and distributed force posture that provides the ability to preserve stability and, if needed, dispense and sustain combat operations for extended periods. That integrated air missile defense in the second island chain and distributed force posture. That means bases, right? At least fobs, right? And lily pads. If you can put a lily pad on an island chain, probably can. I don't see why you couldn't.
Well,
The investment plan features highly survivable precision strike networks as a central element, which this would mean an expanded use of land-based batteries with conventional missiles as the military has ruled out the use of nuclear warheads on such short and medium range. Well, that's comforting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just showing muscles, I guess. I mean, I don't think they will ever try to even hit China in any way, militarily. This seems like the stupidest move ever. No one attacks.
Princess Bride, never get involved in a land war in Asia.
Don't attack a country with 1.5 billion people. That way.
Right? With really long memories.
Yeah, and the biggest industry in the world. Like, imagine like, you know what happened in World War One? That America had this was pulled into the war. Back then, only had like toy factories, and they literally changed the toy factories into into making bullets and missiles. And they created this huge military industry, and it was like literally the toy factories were making weapons for the U.S. military. Well, China has most factories of all, and if they change that into military equipment, they will push out a few thousand airplanes a day, a few thousand tanks a day. There is no way you can stop the Chinese military then. So, better not do it. Have them make these toys and ship them to you. It's much better. But they have 1.5 billion people, and if they change their industry even like 10% into military stuff, you're fucked. Yeah.
Right? What are you gonna do with 100 million troops? How are you gonna there's only one answer to that, and it's super ugly.
We're gonna make some s'mores.
300 million tons of well done steak.
Yeah.
Which is a line out of a Tom Lehrer song. Which
Did
is
not know that.
music that is now available for free in the public domain. Because when Tom Lehrer turned 92, he released all of his music into the public domain.
All right.
Yep. Yeah. It's from a song called We'll All Go Together When We Go. I think the line that precedes it is when the air becomes Uranus, we will all go simultaneous. 300 million tons of well done steak. It's about nuclear war. So is So Long Mom, I'm off to drop the bomb. Tom Lehrer is a comedian. I'm not joking. I'm not. He also wrote the Masochism Tango and the Periodic Table of Elements song, and a number of kid songs, Electric Company and Animaniacs back in the day, and again also the Masochism Tango, and Poisoning Pigeons in the Park. Uh, Lovely number about Werner von Braun. He was a math teacher at MIT and Cambridge, and decided to do funny songs on the piano to supplement his income. Ended up being like a lot of the baseline material for Dr. Demento shows in the 70s. Look, man, if nobody's gonna jump in with this, I know lots of Tom Lehrer songs.
Are you going to start
I
singing?
don't.
I mean, maybe.
I mean, listen, if we're gonna go down the pop culture route, then it's only fair to talk about what's trending, and I would like to inform everybody that that is Attack on Titan. Because if you're not watching it already, why aren't you? You get to learn about fucking psyops in Attack on Titan.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Attack on Titan, I know what that is.
Thank you, Mark. It's an amazing anime.
Yeah, you watch all that anime
That's
stuff.
what it is.
I'm glad you even know about Death Note. I like Death Note too. I use some symbolism from it.
I know about that one.
Oh yeah, I love Death Note.
Death Note kind of ruined it for me with that movie because it was so fucked up. But yeah.
Hey, bro, you just gotta ignore the live-action movies. Like, they're not meant to be good, honestly. Like, fucking the Dragon Ball live-action movie
Yeah,
was
I was going to say that.
garbage.
We're going to say that.
The
but then-
last Airbender movie was a crime against humanity. M. Night Shyamalan should be tried at the ICC for The Last Airbender because that movie was
Only if he can be tried for every previous film and those sentences can be ran consecutively, not concurrently. Because he's still yet to answer for the village.
yeah.
And I think justice needs to be done.
Yeah.
Dingo says he just watched episode 8 of Attack on Titan Glory.
Nice. I don't even remember what. That's so far back. What episode? I'm trying to remember what happened in episode 8.
Dingo.
I mean, it's not a fucking lie. I'm like completely caught up on. I'm sorry. Like I hate to say it. Like I'm completely caught up on the manga. So like, unless if you're somehow Isayama yourself or you're Isayama's family member, that you're not gonna know more than me or anybody else who's caught up on the manga. Like. Ah, okay. You're in the Trost arc. Okay. So you already know Eren the Titan. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. It makes sense. Andrew Cuomo was one of Trump's lawyers back in the day.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Andrew Kumo,
That
yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
Oh, you're on episode 8 of season 4, Dingo? Okay, yeah, that makes more sense.
Wait, what are you arguing? Are you arguing with somebody in the chat over anime?
Hey, it's not a
Oh
bad.
god.
No, but
Not-
she would.
Hey, it's not a bad subject to discuss at all. Anime, like the history of that stuff, because it's pretty interesting, right? I mean,
It is. I mean,
you can do it if you know about that stuff.
I'd much put it this way, and plus, I'd much rather anime to Hollywood because there's not as nearly as much CIA propaganda injected into it, and on top of that, you can get attached to characters without worrying about them being neoliberal pieces of shit in real life.
Yeah, well, what I mean is
Like bro, if you're a Star Wars fan and you like Luke Skywalker, what you gonna do? Mark Hamill's a fucking neoliberal shithead in real life. Meanwhile, I don't have to worry about Levi Ackerman being a neoliberal piece of shit.
no, they don't.
Because it's a two-dimensional cartoon character.
They just get
Exactly.
approached. They just get
Yeah.
approached because they're in a famous show. They get approached by these political shills, these lobbyists, and they recruit them. And then outside of their stupid shows, they're going to promote weird politics. They're being paid for it. They don't care about that. I don't think Mark Hamill is actually politically interested. He gets a lot of money for pushing bullshit.
Oh, I'm sure Mark Hamill is politically interested. Mark Hamill's been like, he's been like this since he was the voice of the Joker.
Okay. Well, I'm just saying.
Like he's one of those people that, like, out of the entire cast of Star Wars, he's the one who's like always had an opinion.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I'm just saying
I
it
don't
because
think it's because he was just getting encouraged to do it, because he didn't do shit after Star Wars, like, for a long time.
but they're using influencers, right? That's what they're working with, and these are
Well, of
influencers.
course.
Right,
But I think that a lot of them do it voluntarily, and I think a lot of them live in that reinforcement bubble where everywhere they go, everybody's using those talking points anyway, and it's just it's a self-reinforcing ideology.
Oh, yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Maybe 50-50.
So it's easy for them to push those narratives. Like they thought that Mark Ruffalo was a fucking whack job anarchist when he went to Standing Rock.
Yeah.
Mark Hamill is in an episode of The Boondocks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No,
It's
I
one of
can-
my favorite fucking episodes too, that's the thing.
Yeah. Okay. But so about anime history, like, I mean, like do you know about the history about all of that stuff, Glory? I mean,
I don't know too much about the history, to be
yeah. Well,
honest.
why it's
I
popular
just-
now?
I like looking at how it kind of like sort of progresses throughout time. Like literally looking at the transformation from something like Astro Boy to like Yu Yu Hakusho, and then up to the use of CG with something like Attack on Titan and Demon Slayer, and then today where you have like fucking shit like Dragon Ball Super Broly or Mob Psycho or what's her name, Violet Evergarden or Violet Evergreen or something like that. That is beautiful animation. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But but Japan was bombed by with nuclear missiles and lost World War II, right? And so they were imposed a strong laws against showing violence and sex in any way to make them complicit on things and make their society bow down, right? So what they did was they displayed everything in cartoons. So that's the rise of manga and anime. They were allowed to show violence in cartoons, not in real movies or in any broadcasts. So these cartoonists created all that stuff, and that's why these people. That's why they're so good at drawing stuff, because they have so much experienced, and they have been experienced in making it as realistic as possible, because they weren't allowed to do it in real, right?
Oh, you know what? Because when you were mentioning like, Japan getting bombed with the atomic bomb, that's one of the things that I always liked about the Godzilla series. Was like the original Godzilla movie from like 1954, I think it was. Like that's literally like the manifestation of like human destruction via atomic weapons.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like it's fascinating watching like the very first Godzilla movie from 1954 and seeing like, you know, this massive indestructible creature that like withstands all kinds of missiles and like tramples through everything and has its own like atomic breath. It's just interesting to see how they view kind of what human destruction can bring to the world.
Well, it's
Dude,
symbolic.
the Incredible
Go ahead.
Hulk originally was a anti-nuclear war protest in the form of a comic book. That was Stan Lee's attack on nuclear proliferation in the military-industrial complex.
Didn't know that.
Just like Godzilla was like literally born out of like in kind of the Godzilla world. He was birthed because they were testing nuclear weapons in the sea. So like through some science, like it fused this monster from nuclear radiation that became to be Godzilla.
Yeah, well, you're
Yeah,
right.
no, the Hulk was like, the Hulk was incredibly controversial, and there were a bunch of comic book stores or shops that like businesses that wouldn't allow it for a little while. They tried to shelve it. I so oh god, this is 20 years ago now. But for a while there, Kevin Smith, Silent Bob, used to throw a New Year's Eve poker party at Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash in Red Bank. And they would hold a, like, first 50 people that respawn get a ticket and can come play cards kind of thing. And we did that one year. And Kevin Smith is like I think Stan Lee is the one thing that he knows better than how to call himself fat.
Okay.
And
I'll miss Stanley cameos in Marvel
he
movies
was,
so much.
he was telling that story. And the way that he told it is that is how Stan had explained the Incredible Hulk to him. But it was like, that's how they were pitching it too at the time when they were releasing it, and they caught a bunch of flack for it.
Okay, well, Japan, there was an operation called Operation Blacklist by the USA, where they prohibited all that stuff, and that's why the Japan people had to make the cartoons of everything. So I was just looking into Godzilla, and it actually has to do with this little boat called the Lucky Dragon Number 5, and that boat actually sunk at that island, that famous island that they used for testing. Let me see. Bikini Atoll. That was the destination of that boat.
You just set me off. You know, Ah, God, I won't go down that tangent, but my fucking God, atolls are such beautiful things, and they are getting absolutely destroyed. It takes millions and millions of years for those things to come into existence because a volcano literally has to sink back into the ocean for for you to be left with an atoll, and people are fucking destroying them. It's
Yeah.
ugh. Fuck people for that. Fuck humans.
Yeah, well, at Bikini, they actually have on that island. They have this huge concrete thing to, yeah, to like cover it up, and that's actually still leaking at this time. And the people are not even actively being evacuated, but they're living in the nuclear waste, pretty much, and it's all going to be destroyed soon. But they have it's leaking, literally. They have like this huge concrete thing over poured over it. Actually, I posted about this on Twitter like maybe a year ago. I don't know. It's disgusting, actually, how they destroy all these things and people, because there's a lot of people living there.
Mm-hmm.
But the Godzilla is very good that you said that, because that is based on the nuclear fears, and that because that little boat sunk at one of these atolls, and that boat was called Lucky Dragon number 5. So they based Godzilla on that. 1954. Operation Blacklist, a mission to demilitarize and democratize Japan. U.S. strictly prohibited any news coverage that dealt with the aftermath of the atomic bombings. Japanese activists started in 1952 to speak out about it. And then they didn't get much traction, but then in 1954, when that boat actually sank, then it all like spiked, and they got like huge traction with the whole stuff. And had to do with a nuclear device called Castle Bravo, and it was scheduled for testing on March 1, 1954, the same day Lucky Dragon number 5 arrived at the Marshall Islands. And the US government already declared in advance a 57,000 square mile danger zone that could potentially be affected by the fallout. But what they were not able to predict in advance was the sheer power of Castle Bravo, and it was twice as powerful as the prediction. And then the nuclear fallout was blown far outside of the danger zone, and the Lucky Dragon happened to be sailing there. So literally that Lucky Dragon was affected by the nuclear fallout, and hence why Godzilla looks like a dragon and is nuclear.
Interesting, I did not know that.
It's activism. It's activism
Yeah.
hidden in cartoons or in anime. Which just shows again how powerful art can be, right? Because Godzilla is now known all over the world.
Yep.
Yeah, anyway, if you if you search for like that's activism. It's all over the world. But if you search for Godzilla and stuff, you easily find that the meaning behind it. So like true fans of Godzilla will find the meaning behind it, and that's why it does wake up a lot of people to those things.
Yeah. I mean, especially when you watch like the first one as a standalone, because then there's also like the whole kaiju universe where you get like Ghidra and Mothra and Rodan and all of them, and like the other big monsters like Godzilla. So like then you get movies where like Godzilla's fighting other kaiju, like other huge monsters, and in that sense it just gets into entertainment. But like when you watch the first one alone, you can tell they're like the Japanese are going for like this is what human destruction has brought upon the world.
Yeah, because he's literally an indestructible monster. It's like, yeah. I know about all these other monsters. That dragon with like 3 hats. What's his name?
Yeah, that's Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah.
Ghidorah is like that golden.
I was going to say
Yeah,
the
King
reverse.
Ghidorah.
The King Ghidorah.
King Ghidorah is that huge golden dragon with 3 heads. Mothra is a giant colorful moth, and she's my favorite, honestly. And then Rodan is kind of like a giant pterodactyl looking thing. And then there's also Manila, which is like the son of Godzilla. He only shows up in like 2 movies, but he's like a tinier, like much less intimidating version of Godzilla. And then there's also Mecha Godzilla, and there's Space Godzilla, and yeah, there's more, but
So I just have a proposal here, and I know nobody hasn't done this yet, but how about we make a Godzilla fighting game, and we put all of these Godzillas into a fighting game, and yeah, call it a day. Best fighting game ever.
Aren't there fighting games? There are some fighting games about that stuff, I think.
Godzilla
I'm
versus
sure.
Godzilla.
They stole my idea.
Oh, there's this game where they're destroying like cities and stuff. You can be like a monster destroying cities, I think. Forgot the name of it. Oh yeah, King of the Monsters, actually.
yep.
I don't know, but there's always this history, and this actually, in the case of Godzilla, there is actually an activist history behind it, and it is was important to mention, I think. Pretty what the USA causes with censoring, and how this is actually a Streisand effect, I think. You're hiding something, but you make actually without if they never stop these people from doing these things, there would never have been a Godzilla speaking out against this nuclear testing. That's all over the world. If they never censored these people, it would have never happened. I think that's actually a Streisand
What?
effect.
Okay, so Dingo in the chat says there's that one monster that's born of industrial pollution and feeds on pollution that fights Godzilla.
Oh, it's the fucking it's like a smog monster or something. It's the one movie where Godzilla like actually flies. It's one of the weirdest it's one of the weirdest Godzilla movies ever. And fuck. No, I know which one you're talking about. It's like a giant.
Literally Godzilla versus the smog monster.
Okay, yeah.
Ghidorah.
Ghidorah. Yes. That's the premise of the movie. It's like the trippiest Godzilla movie ever. There's like this. Yeah, Dingo, you're right. All those movies are better stoned. Like, if there's any movie to watch stoned, it's Godzilla versus Ghidorah. Because there's literally a scene where, like, they're dancing in a club, and then, like, everybody out of nowhere has, like, a fish head. And then there's also, like I said, there's a scene where Godzilla, like, literally flies, and he's fighting, like, this weird ass like smog monster that feeds off pollution, but like it's not even a good looking monster. It's just like a giant silver turd with eyes or some shit like that. And then but like it can shoot lasers and shit, and like it emits this mud shit where it like renders people into skeletons. It's really trippy.
Sounds trippy.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched like 32 Godzilla movies, so.
I think what other
You don't say.
what other activist cartoons are there in the West? Like I know we're Captain Planet, but yeah. There's a particular anti.
Avatar: The Last Airbender is great for teaching kids about like imperialism and colonialism and nationalism.
I feel like early Boondocks was an activist cartoon.
Oh yeah, Boondocks for sure. Yeah, the reason why I bring up Avatar was because like it's much more subtle with what it's teaching kids, but like you literally deal with like genocides in that movie. I mean in that series because like the Southern Water Tribe, all their waterbenders were like kidnapped and imprisoned until they like died. That's why like a whole point of that series is like Katara is the last waterbender from the Southern Water Tribe. And then they also teach about like the heavy nationalism within the Fire Nation. How like they're miseducating their kids in school and they're like pledging allegiance to their Fire Lord, to the Fire Lord Ozai. And yeah, tons of other stuff.
So I do know with comic books that there was a lot of stuff there, but there's like also like pro-war comic books, right? Captain America, for example, was very pro-war, like leading the fight against the Nazis. Was beating up Nazis.
Yeah, that was the whole like comic book universe was propaganda and like basically nothing but there for a little bit. Even Bazooka Joe was like join the fucking army.
Bazooka Joe, yeah, I mean they already see it in the name.
Right? Yeah. But I mean, that's one of the reasons they're going after Dr. Seuss. Was for his propaganda through illustration.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that. I thought that was ridiculous.
Well, we have them in here actually. As a kid, I watched a cartoon called Alfred J. Quack about a duck, and it was actually it had like some episodes about a thing called the Crow Party, which was a direct reference to the Nazi Party and stuff, and all these. You saw like the whole rise up of the Nazi Party, and it was like, as a kid, I was like 5-6 years old. It was pretty shocking to see that, and made you really scared of Nazis and stuff. So I remember that they used it in here too. It was not like a children's duck like Donald Duck or whatever, even though that one is used too in Nazi stuff or anti-Nazi stuff. But this was like it's very complex stories. But that like literally played out in our country. Like they lived in huge clumps and stuff, and windmills. That's what they lived in. And, but yeah, it had like the Nazi Party, and then arresting everyone and collecting all the money. Oh yeah, and the weird thing is, the Nazis in that cartoon were working together with the Pope, the Christian leader, which is actually what actually happened. They worked together with the Vatican. So it's pretty interesting. One's Alfred J. Quack. It is in English too. It is available in English. It's in like 20 different languages. And it was drawn by Japanese too. It's very pretty looking.
Yeah, I know no history of this.
No, but that's weird because the USA has been like very involved with that stuff.
Well, I know the history of the Nazis using cartoons. I know that much, but I mean, I don't know anything regarding Japanese culture and cartoons and stuff like that. What you guys were discussing earlier.
Yeah.
I'm just here learning.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying, like, if you're you're talking about cartoons and stuff. Yeah, if you connect it to activism, well, Godzilla's a good example. This one too. I'm actually going to post it in the general chat. Maybe you will like it, Glory.
Okay.
Because it is actually kind of like anime. But it's a children's
Ooh.
thing. I posted it. Episode 23, Escape from the Crow Party.
I see.
How we grew up with this kind of stuff, so we were all made scared of, of that Nazis would rise again in our country and stuff. We were occupied by them, right? And a lot of Dutch people died over it. About 200,000.
Interesting, and they did a.
Sorry guys, I was thrown out. Discord.
Here you are.
He's back.
Say that again. Interesting. There was. That's what got off.
No, I said that's interesting. Is that a Dutch cartoon, like kind of made to look like Donald Duck?
This is a Dutch cartoon and it's made together with Japanese anime drawers. So it's pretty well drawn. You can see it actually, like at the intro, you see all the Japanese names and stuff of the people who wrote it, or drew it. Yeah, okay, it was pretty. It still has an impact. Even today, the Nazi occupation still has an impact on our country. You wouldn't think that, but it still has. Like, this is so disgusting when you actually think about it. But there is still okay. So people don't know about this, right? But there is still Jewish families who are descendants of the people who were like taken away by the Nazis, and they were homeowners in Amsterdam City, right? And they were disowned by the Nazis. The Nazis took over that real estate, and they were like taken away. And now their family members are still having lawsuits of property rights over their inheritance, because the Nazis officially got the property rights from the city, right? So they owned the property, but it was taken by force from these Jewish people, and these whoever they sold it to. So during the war, after the war, these Nazis sold it to like real estate guys and whatever, but it wasn't theirs to sell because it belonged to these Jewish families. And now there is like literally descendants of these Jewish families still at today doing lawsuits over certain real estate.
Wow.
Yeah. Their families were thrown out, and the official property rights were given to the Nazis. Then these Nazi guys sold it to like these big real estate guys, but it was illegal property. It was confiscated. And imagine that you as a family still have to sue them over it. Okay, obviously now these are like buildings worth millions and millions, but
Well, yeah. I mean, what's going on with those lawsuits? Are they actually getting the properties, or are the courts ruling that?
oh yeah, of course, yeah, they're winning these cases, yeah. But the fact that they have to do
Okay,
it,
because it would probably be hate speech if they didn't.
yeah. Now Amsterdam does.
I mean, it's fucked up. But
Yeah, it is fucked up. It's fucked up. They even have to do it, and they're not getting it. Like, but it should have been like all reversed, and they should have been just given it instead of having to do lawsuits. Right? I mean, yeah. I get it. It's like these are like buildings in the heart of the city. Like you have an area called the Jordaan, which was a Jewish neighborhood. There lived almost only Jewish people. And yeah, during the war, after the war, there were no Jewish people left there. All been taken away. So, but these are neighborhoods with valuable buildings. Like it's been, the streets have been made very nice. And if you talk about like an average building there, like a, you call it a house, just a house there. It's actually like multiple stories. You have like multiple houses in it. You're talking about what 1.5, 2 billion, 2 million in value for a house in the city. Which are expensive, expensive buildings. So real estate guys are not eager to give it away. But yeah, that's it still goes on. Very sad, actually.
They're selling the burned out building that used to be the brewery here in town for 1.6 million.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a burn. You can't. That be like the brick has got to be compromised. You'd have to completely raise it. The septic is screwed. Like, no way in hell anybody's paying, upwards of $2 million for a lot that they can't do anything with in an economy where, in a world where nobody goes out anymore.
Yeah. See what I put in the chat?
Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm reading it just now.
It's actually what really happened. The Dutch wanted to stay neutral, but the Germans were asking the Dutch for support, and because they didn't give it, they were invaded. And they bombed Rotterdam to the ground. I mean, the entire city. There's 1 million people now in Rotterdam. The entire city was burned to the ground, like completely bombed. And that's why our country surrendered to the Nazis too, because they threatened to bomb all the other major cities too, Amsterdam, The Hague, and everything. Like they were literally like completely bombing it to the ground, right? That nothing was left standing.
Sorry. You got anything else to cover tonight?
I don't think so, no. I think we got through all the topics. I mean, did we discuss Derek Chauvin's charges in Minneapolis?
No.
There you go. That's a topic.
Yeah.
Did you want to jump into that and discuss it? Because you know more than I do.
The Derek Chauvin, the police officer, Minneapolis police officer that choked the life out of George Floyd on camera, goes to court tomorrow. That trial begins, and there's already stuff all over the interwebs about, well, hey, if he walks, we're gonna fucking go nuts, and I gotta say, man, that's not gonna help. But I mean, Jesus Christ, dude, it's about to get crazy, I think, which sucks. I'm trying to find, there we go, a list of what the actual charges are now. So, second degree murder. What else? Third degree assault. Second degree manslaughter. Possible third degree murder. But no first degree murder. He'll probably end up getting Man 2, which I'm pretty sure is felony, but it carries a max of 10 years. The sentencing guidelines say that someone with no criminal history should be sentenced to 4 years max for Man 2. But, again, in all likelihood, I don't know. Maybe, maybe the climate is charged enough that there will be some sort of, like, I don't know, vengeance, retribution. I don't know. What do you guys think? No, don't run over each other. Everybody, try. Let's one person at a time.
I know I feel really nothing of that entire case, so I can't really comment.
Yeah, I know I saw the video of it and it was brutal. What they did to George Floyd, and I just think again, the cops are going to get a slap in the wrist. There's nothing going to happen. I think it's going to ignite or reignite all of the protests that were going on over the summer. I think this is going to be it, honestly. I think this is going to be the moment that reignites that under Biden. And it'll be interesting to see how Biden handles it, because before, you remember, Biden was out there campaigning and saying that how he was going to defund the police, this and that. So let's see if he actually goes forward with it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it'll be as big as it was last summer, but I mean, either way.
Well, so I would imagine it would get the same reaction. It's just we haven't had that under Biden yet. You know, we had it under Trump, but not Biden, and it'll be interesting to see if that same energy is there under Biden as was there under Trump. You know.
100%, and this is how you get the domestic terrorism legislation passed. This is how you criminalize protest.
Yeah,
this is why the National Guard is still in D.C.
I mean, I'll look for it just because, I mean, I'm going to be on the ground tomorrow probably for that shit. I mean, I hope it'll be there. I just... It's commonplace for this shit to happen.
Yeah, well, we can go into the whole Black Lives Matter result and all these things. It was probably a little more aggressive under Trump in that sense. But we'll see if the,
Black Lives Matter started under Obama. Black Lives
Yeah.
Matter because Freddie Gray was murdered on Obama's watch.
okay. Yeah, don't ask a European to explain that. Like, I don't know much about all
Yeah.
that stuff. I mean,
Yeah, no, that was Barry Jones a lot, who was in office when
During the Ferguson uprising,
Mhm.
who called the protesters in Ferguson thugs.
Yep.
That one Trump. That was our first black president. Right there, son. Ugh.
Yep. The guy who fucking acted like he couldn't find the television while cops were just fucking slaughtering people in the streets of Ferguson.
Yep.
He had that problem a lot. He couldn't find his TV during Occupy. He couldn't find his TV during Standing Rock. He couldn't find his TV during Ferguson or anything else that ensued after Ferguson. And then when he did, he'd always be like, we should let it play out.
Yeah. I mean, don't forget how he literally pretended to sip Flint water. Say, yeah, I might have, tasted a sliver of paint at some point, and, maybe that paint had lead in it.
I can't believe that when you live in like the wealthiest country in the world, that you still have these issues with water.
Oh yeah, that's the problem. If you're living in a first world country and you still have problems with water, I mean, well,
Are you living in a first world country then at that point? Or just the image,
point.
an image of a first world country. I mean, the infrastructure it seems to be very crappy too, right, in the U.S. I know.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. All over the U.S., there's crappy infrastructure. I mean, our bridges are so outdated; they've been collapsing. Our dams are so outdated that they collapse. I mean, it's not all. It's not as good as people think it is over here in the U.S. Might be better than living in a third world country in some cases, but I mean, the infrastructure wise, it's pretty much similar. I mean, to some countries. I mean, not like the really, really poor ones, but yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the infrastructure is perfect here, but we have other issues. Yeah. No, but it's like in the U.S. it seems like you have such a large country that you have like a large areas in the country where it's actually fucked up, and then at some places you have this focus where it's like really good. Like you have like very good universities, and then you have half the country being fucked up. You have Silicon Valley, right, where like it's like a technological heart, while the internet infrastructure in much of the country is fucked up. So yeah, pretty much it. You have like focused on certain locations, and those locations is like where it's really good in quality, better than in other places. But in like in the rest of the country, it's not so good. Can for example, in South Korea or in Sweden, there is like an over like 98% broadband coverage, right? There's almost no one in the country where there is not high-speed internet. If you look at Sweden or at South Korea, there's no person there without high-speed internet.
Right. Yeah, I mean, when you're talking about internet and stuff like that, like we talked before about the kids from, I think it was Nepal, where they had to save up a whole bunch of money just to come on ABB. It was Nepal, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I mean, like, there's different countries that have different infrastructures for internet, but I mean, honestly, since Elon has decided to launch Starlink now, and Google's launching these other satellites for internet, I think internet will be widely available across the world for free very soon. I think the first world countries will still have to pay, right? But third world countries, I think, will get free internet. That's what I think that they're doing. Pretty sure. Of course, it's going to be tracked, though. So, I mean, I'm not advocating that you use that, but
Yeah, well, the tracking is pretty much everywhere now. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's sad. Yeah, that's Starlink. Wasn't Google trying something with balloons in Africa and stuff? Or is that all gone now, that whole project? They were having these balloons like flying high up in the air, giving internet to Africa.
That was the Google project.
Yeah.
Yeah. Except that's not the that's not the satellite one.
No, that's Musk. Elon Musk.
There was something else. It had to do with Wi-Fi in the sky or something.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, well, in poor areas, the internet makes a huge difference because it opens up all these markets. You can do a lot of trade and things, so you can help countries out of poverty using the internet.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't know that. A lot of countries in Africa, they lack the ability for a lot of financial instruments that we have over here in the West that would bring the countries very quickly out of poverty. And that's what Cardano is doing with Charles Hoskinson. They are going for these deals in Africa to help bring people out of poverty over in Africa and to bring jobs over to Africa. And there's also using microloans through crypto, which is huge because if you give somebody a microloan and they're actually going to pay it back, they can change their life with just $2,000.
I used to do that using a site called Kiva, Kiva. Gave loans to like a barber in Palestine, and they would always pay it back, and they would send these pictures of what they were doing with it and stuff. So there are these projects you can give microloans, and it really makes a big difference for them. I used to do that, and because they always paid it back, I could do a lot of it. So
yeah, it's good when there's a trusted third party, but doing it in a decentralized way is going to be huge because it's never been possible before.
it's also like maybe the West is scared of Africa rising up in that sense because there is a lot of poverty there. They will be able to sell products cheaper on the market. They would technically be able to compete on a lot of markets, these people, and win against certain Western companies who have their overpriced products with like a low production value. Just saying, basic products, even like things like furniture, for example. If you have you have people who are very good with their hands and have very good skills in making furniture, right? And the production costs don't have to be huge. And if people like in Africa make these things, they will be very capable to compete on the market.
But then the U.S. slaps a huge tariff import tax on African furniture or African whatever, insert product here. So I mean, that's how they would compete against it.
Yeah, exactly. That's a fear they have.
is that import tax. That's where they would compete against it.
Yeah. Well, using the internet, they would at least be able to trade it into other African countries, whether the richer parts like South Africa or Egypt or even like Middle Eastern countries.
Right. Yeah, they could do that too, but then the other countries would slap a import tax on it. That's the thing. Like, it would be good for within Africa, right? But then like going into Europe and stuff like that, they would slap a huge import tax on it because that's how things work. But I agree with you. I think bringing business and bringing opportunities to Africa is how in general, we grow the entire world economy, because that's the untapped part of the world that hasn't been what's the word I'm looking for? That hasn't been touched, I guess. It's not the word I wanted, but that hasn't been touched with financial instruments. Put it that way.
Mm-hmm. You can make them rise up real fast. You just push them a little bit. And that's some skill drawing, by the way. Who draws these things?
Flory Jones. Flory Jones. That was hilarious. Will you make that noise again?
No.
That's my very good friend Johnny Larson, aka Johnny Bravado. He did the cartoon Me.
Is that the guy from New York, or is that someone else?
No, he's from Colorado.
Okay.
We are Aura twins.
Okay, well, these are some skill drawings.
Just gonna let that go, aren't you?
That was that's the guy who wrote that article on Swag.
It's probably a really common pen name or pseudonym. Johnny Bravado was also a fucking animated show on the Cartoon Network and shit.
Oh, all right. I thought it was the guy who wrote the article on Charles Schwab, but okay.
No.
It was Johnny Bravo, by the way. That's the name of the cartoon.
Okay. Right, it was.
Oh, Johnny Bravo. I know what that is. Yeah. That's an old fucking cartoon. So wait, so Johnny Bravo drew
No.
that?
This dude's one of his aliases was Johnny Bravado. One of his artiste names.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know what's funny
At
about
any
that
rate,
name?
he's a hell of an artist.
You know what's funny about that name, and what's funny about him being an artist too? The guy who runs what the fuck's it called? MT, I can't remember what it was. America Today. That guy. He goes by the name Johnny Bravado.
Okay. I didn't know. So which one wins, you guys? Which one wins?
I like the middle one. It's the middle finger is fine too. Fuck the system thing.
I think I wanna reserve the middle finger one for special occasions.
What special occasions?
You know, for like extra emphasis.
Yeah, I get that. I, you can't. I just can't believe he drew 3 different me's.
So if you were to pick between the bottom two,
I don't know.
I'm leaning middle, but I can be sold either way.
I don't know.
I promise you guys, as soon as we figure this out, I will tweet it out. I will put it in the Slow News Day Discord. You will be able to see what we're talking about. It's a podcast anyway. You got to use your imagination. Just imagine that my good friend Johnny, who is an incredible fucking artist, had so much fun making Cartoon Glory that he had to make 3.
Oh!
So now we have to pick.
I didn't know it was what to draw. What the fuck?
Plus,
I do have a
Glory's
bone.
hella embarrassed, and that's hilarious.
I do have a
Shut
bone.
up!
I do have a bone to pick about that hand. Like it's very, very bony.
Bony hand.
Glory's hand is much more crooked, although he did kind of try and capture it a little bit. But her middle finger's bent as the fucking Soviet sickle, man.
I don't know what. Listen, I don't know what's up with my fingers. Okay, they just do that. Like I don't.
I was talking about the hand. The hand is bony, like very bony. Anyway, I just had to throw that out there. Besides that,
You trying to say that Glory has a chubby hand, AK? So what you're saying? And full fleshy and shit? It's fucking weird.
No, I'm trying to say the guy who drew it made the hand too bony to the point where it kind of looks like it's like a skeleton hand. Those are my critiques. Besides that, looks great.
Oh yeah, definitely. There's some skills behind that. Seriously.
He's still not Banksy though. I had to throw that out there.
Well, nobody's having him scale down a wall to spray paint either. You know, I mean, as far as I know, dude has
Amazing shit.
a bad back. I'm not sure he'd be up for it anyway.
Honestly, like Banksy has done some pretty amazing fucking shit.
He really has. He really has. The thing that he did for Julian's fucking awesome.
Yeah, and the thing that he did with that one painting, oh, that was fucking great. You remember the painting at the auction? That whole thing that happened?
Mm-hmm.
The painting got shredded. Oh man, that was a long time ago.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's Banksy is an example of very powerful art. Again, like what we're talking about, cartoons and stuff. I think Banksy is a good example of what you can do. You need more of that. More.
I mean, Hal Hefner does good. Does really good artwork in terms of making a very clear statement. He's been kind of recapturing the They Live movie. He did the Klaus Schwab the Daily for Johnny Vedmore's article on the Schwab family und Papa.
Papa was a Nazi.
Papa was a Nazi.
Oh yeah. Speaking of him, I forgot. We discussed that during the before the show, prior show. I don't know what the fuck I want to call it. Anyway,
Right.
so
Right. The 8-hour pre-show while we were waiting
Yeah,
for Mark to comb his balls or something.
And they're waiting for Mark Dogs again.
you know, I'm going to pretend that I heard "walk his dogs." You like how I was fast on that one? Anyway, Charles.
No, Mark was just like,
I was literally sleeping.
was-
walking his
you know,
dogs.
his neighbor, very old lady. She desperately needed help, and Mark, out of the kindness of his heart, he just went over and helped her get situated and everything. Really lovely.
That is false.
It's the middle of the night. It would not be healthy for that old lady.
And combing his balls is any more accurate?
What,
walking
brush?
his dogs is
I
better.
don't know.
I mean, fuck.
You guys are side police.
Anyway, Mr. Charles Schwab.
Klaus? Klaus? Or
Oh yeah, Klaus, whatever. Fucking, I thought it was Charles. Anyway, Klaus Schwab has announced that he wants to enter into crypto and he wants to open up a crypto exchange. I know where I'm not going to go buy crypto. How about you, Mark?
Yeah, I know. I'm not going to buy crypto at Klaus Schwab. Who the hell comes up with such ideas?
You will buy the crypto and you will like it.
Well, actually,
The
it was his
crypto
idea.
will not be delivered by drone.
Yeah, it was actually Klaus Schwab's idea. Because he's the one that said it. He said how he wanted to open up a cryptocurrency brokerage firm and start a cryptocurrency exchange. And yeah.
That was another part of the resetting digital currencies panel that we were talking about in the 17 and a half hour pre-show. Where it was right after.
That's like we even did Dave McBride in between.
I'm just fucking with you, buddy. I'm just fucking with you. That's exactly what the Queen of Holland was talking about. So the woman who introduced the panel was the owner of the first African crypto market. She was not herself African. I think she was Dutch. Oh, Italian. She was Italian. At any rate, the Queen of Holland, Queen of the Netherlands, whatever. She told a story about how the Netherlands used to be the trading center and the financial capital of the world, and how part of what made them so financially dominant was that they had a stable market, and that they were going to try to like their brokerage houses were internationally renowned, and they converted all currencies, and so that's what they were basing their future crypto exchange off of. Was that sort of I don't know, business model, mind frame, mindset. But bear in mind that it's coming out of the World Economic Forum. So
They
You
left
know,
out a lot of
that's-
stuff there. But,
yeah, I mean, we're talking about some of, if not all of, the wealthiest people on the planet.
yeah, but I mean, they pretty much they picture it super positive, but they left out the whole part about the whole tulip bubble. They left out the part about being the first stock market because people were investing in the first corporation that was literally raiding the world with the largest army ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did sort of gloss over that whole Dutch East India Tea Company thing.
Yeah, they were like enslaving people and colonizing everything, building tobacco farms everywhere, and opium trade, putting a whole
you know what
China
that's
on
called?
opium.
Democracy.
They literally made entire China hooked to opium.
That's what we had to sacrifice for our democracy.
And then you have the tulip bubble, where they were all speculating on the price of tulips because princes and princesses liked to wear tulips on their dresses. And so they were speculating on expensive tulips, making the tulip more
elites.
valuable than an entire huge house in the Netherlands.
And the elites really wanted to compare cryptocurrency and Bitcoin to the tulip bubble.
The worst thing ever. That caused the collapse of the entire Dutch East India Company.
Yeah, but they tried to compare cryptocurrency, something they don't fucking understand, that is computer code, to a tulip mania bubble that happened fucking years ago. And it's like you're comparing digital cash to a flower. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's pretty bullshit. So it was kind of a wrong comparison, because they're talking about a bubble, about a huge corporation, about the worst thing ever, of colonizing the world.
Oh, well, wait till they see what Bitcoin does. Because it's going to be the greatest bubble of all time that's just going to eat up all the fiat money like a fucking vacuum cleaner. Fiat system go boom.
Pretty much. It's all about trust. People lose trust in the system, so fiat's going to collapse.
Oh, like they keep printing and printing and printing and printing and printing, and that printer press just keep going.
Yeah. That's probably how it sounds.
Something like that. When you see Bitcoin, it's a 52K again.
52K, did it go up that much? Made like a
Oh well, no, it went down 50. Okay, we're at 50K now. Was it 52K earlier today? So,
did they say it goes up to 200K or something this year?
yeah, we think it's gonna go up to like 200, 300.
When does it go up to 1 trillion? They said it goes up to 1 trillion or something in 2030.
I don't know about a trillion. A couple million, yeah.
This guy said it. I'm going to find it.
If it goes up to 1 trillion, I mean, then, well, fuck, I'll never have to work ever again.
Oh, someone says it is. Oh, that civics prediction guy, Vinny Lingham, says it's going to be 100,000 to 1 million by 2030. But there was this huge prediction, but it'd be a lot more.
Well, I mean, he's a little off by the cycles, but okay.
Oh.
He still doesn't realize that Bitcoin moves in like 3-year, 10-month cycles. So
Plan B's
It'll
prediction
actually-
says it's 1 million to 10 million by 2020.
It'll actually be probably like 1 to 5 million by 2020. Let me just do math. 1, 2, 3. 2025, 2026 is when it'll be probably like 1 million, 5 million.
Yeah, but it depends. What is the tangible value behind it? Why would it have this price at that point? You explain that, because we need a currency that's usable in the real economy, and Bitcoin only can do like, what is it, 5 transfers a second?
Yeah, but they're working on. They're now developing. They put what was it? Fucking Jack Dorsey and Jay-Z put like 50 million towards Bitcoin development because they hold a ton of it. I know that.
I get that, but we need. There are other cryptocurrencies which are far more useful for the real economy, right? Right now, I mean, even Litecoin is better now. You think so?
Litecoin's just a fork of Bitcoin.
But it's much faster.
To a degree.
Well, with Ethereum, it's also a lot faster, right?
Ethereum's only like 15 transactions per second.
Oh, that's still not enough.
No, you got to realize how early we are in this technology. The thing is, because Ethereum is the world computer, it's like a world decentralized computer. And there's others that are decentralized computers as well, but Ethereum's the most used. Buying into Ethereum now could be like investing in like the next Google or Amazon or something like that, where it goes up in a exceedingly amount of in value. And there's some things going on with Ethereum now where they are they're going to switch it from a proof of work to a proof of stake, and also adding in just recently the proposal passed where fees are going to be burned. So if you use the Ethereum network and you pay a fee, it's going to be burned from the supply. So it's a deflation. It's going to become a deflationary cryptocurrency, and that's probably going to send things to the moon, because you now every time somebody uses the network, Ethereum's going to be being burned.
Okay. To the moon. I've heard that so much lately, that statement.
Wait, what?
Yeah, well, that's what they're all saying. Like, Hive says it too. Like, we're waiting till Hive goes to the moon.
Bitcoin, please go to moon.
Yeah, well, you know, the big profits are not in Bitcoin in that sense, right? There are other cryptos going up far more. It's more like the long-term thing, I think, Bitcoin.
Yeah, it depends on, like, for instance, I told everybody to get into Cardano when it was 32 cents. It's now $1, what is it, $1.30? It's the easiest 100K I ever made in my life.
Yeah, I mean, you're always spot on with that stuff.
I know.
Yeah, that's all I can say about it. Like, people listen to your investment advice, they would actually be rich by now. Which is weird. Because you're just a random anon on the internet. But you're right.
Well, yes and no. I mean, I'm a random anon on the internet, but I mean, I work with all the big crypto people, so I mean, I know I have my. You
know what I mean by that, right? I mean, you have huge investment companies making the wrong decisions all the time, right? And some anon knows it better than them. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point.
I've seen the results these investment companies have on like Prime XBT and stuff too. And in day trading, I outrun them every single time. So people should not listen too much anymore to these old elite. I do mathematics. I do only like on forex market, right? And if you look at my profits on it, it's like you outrun them every day.
Yeah, I told you to use that indicator I gave you.
No, I do it myself, just like for looking at the trends. So I don't even need news for it.
Yeah, but if you use that indicator, you would crush it. You'd be fucking. You would never lose. Put it that way. It's like a cheat code.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, although it's not investment advice, I mean, if you didn't listen to me, I mean, you would have made a lot of fucking money.
Yeah. Well, fiat behavior is actually very predictable in the market. If you get into it, because you have all these coins. Yeah, you have all the coins, all these dollar currencies, like the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, New Zealand. They're all connected to the US dollar, right? So you can just look at for example, euro versus dollar value, and then when one of them, usually the US dollar, that's the largest market. If that one goes like up that day, and these other ones are still staying behind, but then you know they're also going to go up. There's just a delay in it, and it is a very safe move to just jump in it, and suddenly they're correcting, and you make a lot of money instantly. It's just in 30 minutes. You can cash it out. So
I really suck at trading on leverage against forex markets.
yeah, it's high risk trading. I know that.
Yeah, it is. I just stick to flipping crypto to crypto, and yeah.
Yeah, and stocks, I already said, right? I mean, like, even when I was like in London, I saw all these, everything going in a lockdown, and I saw all these delivery companies going wild. Everyone was ordering food with delivery companies. So what do you invest in then? You put your money in some delivery companies like Deliveroo or Uber Eats, whatever, and you see them all going up like wild. Domino's Pizza was going up
not
wild.
that Uber Eats one. No, fuck that. They are overcharging so fucking much. I tried to order from them like the other day, and it was like $40 for one delivery, and I'm like, well, Jesus, all I got was a fucking hamburger and a drink. Like, what the fuck, man? I'm not even kidding. Like, the fuck? They add like $6 for the delivery fee, fucking service fee, like $4 or $5. I don't know, but it's just so ridiculous how much they're charging.
Okay, well, yeah, Domino's Pizza went up like 280%.
Oh yeah. If you would have put, let's see, if you would have put $10,000 into Domino's Pizza and it was that low and it went up 280%, you know, you'd be pretty well off.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. Okay, guys, did we cover everything?
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Actually, that's not pretty well off. I just did the math on that one. I'm a moron. That's only $28,000. I thought it was 280,000. I'm tired, man. It's fucking late.
Okay, well, we'll be back later this week, maybe tomorrow even. I don't know. I'm talking to some different guests who want to come on. Deepa is going to come on soon with us. She's probably bringing a friend.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's been a while since she was on with us, but she's always a nice guest to have. And
Love Deepa.
Yeah, she was talking about bringing a friend who is a whistleblower. Oh yeah, and we had David McBride on before, and he was talking about these 10 different whistleblowers, and two of them were like had like such an interesting story that like even this week I want to cover this like more deeply. You guys remember what I was talking about, right, Steve?
Yeah.
No, he has more whistleblowers. He's saying.
Oh, he was on. It was like an event today in
Mhm.
Melbourne, and it was like an art event, and there was like 10 whistleblowers there being like featured on that art event. But it was like this very shocking story. One was about them putting autistic children in like some kind of closed coffins where they were locking them up in a coffin.
Jesus.
Yeah, and the other
Yeah.
one was a former spy, if I'm correct, being he was locked up for 5 years in a secret trial, and he was never charged.
Wow.
Yeah, and then was only about okay, so he was locked up in 2013, and in 2018 there was some agreement made, and that is when it was made public, and he was officially charged, but he was already locked up for like 5 years, and they raided
Crazy.
the house of the lawyer, and they arrested the witness. Like that's what I
What the
remember.
fuck? That's like some tyrannical fascism shit.
Yeah, and considering never heard about it before, it's kind of shocking, right? And
Right.
we need to cover this kind of stuff. Like we're not doing that enough, I think.
Well, I mean, we're not psychic, so we have no idea that it even went on.
No, that's true.
At least I'm not. I mean, would you like to confess? You know,
No, no, I wish I was psychic sometimes. Whatever.
you got to practice that remote viewing, man. You got the whole manual. I mean, just you got to open it up and read it.
Right, which includes every independent newspaper in every country, because they're not reporting any of this shit in the regular Australian press until it's like way too late. This is an art exhibit in Melbourne about current and former targets of the government, not like, hey, the government may someday do this, let's all make sure we've secured our civil liberties, right? No, it's things that have already happened. Like David McBride has already lost a fuck ton of his life and his fucking
Yeah.
ability to move freely, and his health
Well-
and sanity.
I mean, Australia is really starting to become. I don't know if I like worse than the U.S. It used to be like the U.S. used to, or it used to be Australia would test things, and then it would be tested in the U.S. So, and they also did it with Canada as well, because they're two similar countries. But lately, man, like there's some crazy shit going on in Australia, and if they're testing stuff over in Australia to bring over to the Western world into the U.S., I think we're kind of fucked.
Yeah. So we're going to cover that the coming week, and you guys at Slow News Day, you will also help with covering these cases, right? These whistleblowers, and
Oh yeah,
that will be
For
great.
sure.
We can do it together.
absolutely. Yeah, and we have a bunch of stuff that we have to get to this week too, including the National Security Council on Artificial Intelligence final report. Hopefully Eva Bartlett, but maybe not, because she might want us to have her Ukraine scholar friend on first. If that's the case, then there's still this stuff. There's a bunch of other stuff that we need to look at and start digging into. We have we're going to be part of a special live stream on Wednesday. There will be more details about that later in the week. Union of the Unwanted is tomorrow. March 17th and March 18th, Action for Assange will be in Washington, D.C. as part of an international day of action for Julian Assange called Clovers for Assange. There are events taking place in a number of cities worldwide. If you go to the Twitter account Candles for Assange, it will Alex has them listed. If you'd like to host a sister event, comment in that thread and you will get added. What am I missing, Jones?
We have a website, slownewsdayshow.com.
Is that
And
new?
we have a Twitch channel now.
Oh yeah, we're on Twitch now.
Okay, so we're going to cover those whistleblower stories. You can subscribe to the Anonymous Worldwide YouTube channel, and we're also on the Rockfin, and you can subscribe to Slow News Day on the Rockfin. That's where we'll also be broadcasting. So we'll be back later this week, and thanks for listening, everyone.
Don't
Are you
forget to
knocking us?
spay neuter all your politicians and lobbyists. Thank you.
Ooh.